After 20 years on television, Grey's Anatomy Season 22 is showing serious signs of decline, and audiences are finally tuning out. The show's second episode of the season dropped nearly 16% in total viewership, bringing in just 2.2 million viewers, and saw a massive 33% drop in the key 18 to 49 demographic. Critics are asking, how is Grey's Anatomy still on the air? The medical drama tied NBC's Law & Order: Organized Crime, a show that's practically running reruns, and was beaten by CBS's Elsbeth, which drew over 3.4 million viewers in the same time slot. With most of the original cast gone and longtime stars like Ellen Pompeo appearing only part-time, fans say the show feels like a shadow of its former self. Even beloved characters like Dr. Amelia Shepherd are being written out for multiple episodes due to budget cuts, as networks struggle with costs. Yet despite the slipping ratings, continues to renew the series, perhaps due to its loyal fanbase and global syndication profits. Meanwhile, show creator Shonda Rhimes remains celebrated for her cultural impact and groundbreaking storytelling, though she's moved on to Netflix hits like Bridgerton. The big question remains, is Grey's Anatomy surviving on nostalgia alone, or can it still evolve? Some fans see Amelia's emotional sabbatical as a chance for meaningful character growth, while others believe the show has flatlined creatively. What do you think? Should finally pull the plug, or does Grey's Anatomy still have life left in it? Hey lovely viewers, welcome to our channel Grey's Anatomy Official. As 20-year-old Grey's Anatomy has already lost a chunk of its remaining audience this season. Why is it still on the air? Grey's Anatomy is still on after 22 seasons. This, despite the show having expired about a decade ago. Or more. Why and how could this be? Last week, Grey's second episode of Season 22 dropped nearly 16% in total viewers from the opening week. They have 2.2 million viewers total. They dropped 33.33% in the key age demo. Is Ellen Pompeo blackmailing Bob Iger? That's the only thing I can think of. Last Thursday, Grey's at 10 p.m. tied NBC's Law & Order: Organized Crime, which is basically showing reruns from its summer run on Peacock. Both shows were easily beaten by CBS's Elsbeth, which had 3.41 million fans at the same hour. Elsbeth is a whimsical detective show in which charismatic star Carrie Preston is dressed as Midge Maisel meets Sarah Sherman from SNL in wild, expensive costumes. Grey's is a mystery at this point. Most of the original cast is gone. Even the group of actors from more than a decade ago have been demoted to partial seasons to keep costs down. And yet, there is still a weekly death or murder, a hospital explosion or kidnapping similar to the ones from the 2010s. There's so much quality TV on streaming and cable, it's mind-boggling that this hour is still being wasted. But I guess you could say the same of fresh food and McDonald's. Or the pleasures of anesthesia. Donate to Showbiz411.com. Showbiz 411 is now in its 13th year of providing breaking and exclusive entertainment news. This is an independent site, unlike the many Hollywood trades that are owned by one company. To continue providing news that takes a fresh look at what's going on in movies, music, theater, etc., advertising is our basis. Reader donations would be greatly appreciated, too. They're just another facet of keeping fact-based journalism alive. Thank you. Shonda Rhimes on why it's never been important to me what other people think. A note from Wildcard host Rachel Martin: it's one thing to create massively successful shows like Grey's Anatomy and Scandal. It's another to create characters, stories, and language that change culture. Shonda Rhimes built shows with diverse casts and strong women at the center, which was rare 20 years ago when Grey's first came out. And the characters she created in Dr. Christina Yang became an avatar for every woman who's ever wanted to cast off self-doubt and live in her own power. Which is what Shonda Rhimes eventually learned to do herself. She wrote about her own journey in a memoir called Year of Yes, which is being re-released to mark 10 years since the book first came out. There's magic in a great cast. Get a great group together, whether it's on Friends or Cheers or Grey's Anatomy, and even the most humble material can feel elevated. And if a show can build a love story with that cast, with people the audience love and feel invested in, then its star can only rise higher. That's certainly bound to be the case after everyone watches the new season of Nobody Wants This. The Netflix series starring Kristen Bell and Adam Brody as sarcastic podcaster Joanne and almost too charming Rabbi Noah wormed its way into the hearts of those looking for a feel-good love story with its first season. Amelia's sabbatical on Grey's Anatomy finally gives her the growth she desperately needs. By author Alexandria Ingham. The explosion at the end of Grey's Anatomy Season 21 left the hospital broken. Not only was the building heavily damaged, but members of staff and a patient lost their lives, and one of those was a doctor Amelia Shepherd was friends with. Monica Beltran wasn't with us long on the show, but she certainly made a mark, and she will be missed in Grey's Anatomy Season 22. Of course, she'll be missed by some more than others, and this death was a catalyst in Amelia's decision on Grey's Anatomy Season 22 Episode 2. She needed to step back and ask Richard Webber if she could use up the vacation days from the last 4 years to take a sabbatical. Katarina Scorsone is off for 8 episodes. The arc was written in to allow Grey's Anatomy to write Amelia's character out for the next 8 episodes. According to Deadline, the decision is financial. We've all heard it time and time again, and it's happening across the networks. TV shows are struggling with budgets, and the best way to address this is by offering guaranteed minimum episodic appearances, rather than requiring actors to be present for the entire season, as was done in the past. This means we see characters written out for an episode or two, and there's usually a one-line explanation thrown in. Well, this time the exit needed to be explained for the long term, as Katarina Scorsone is being written out of the next 8 episodes, which is why the sabbatical was needed for Amelia. While we can all complain about budget cuts and what they're doing to our favorite shows, this could be a blessing in disguise for Amelia's character. It's time for growth. When it comes to Grey's Anatomy characters, they've become stagnant in a lot of cases. Amelia is one of those who hasn't really changed since she first appeared in the series, even though much of her earlier attitude was blamed on a brain tumor she didn't know she had. Amelia regularly takes death hard, and she can lash out rather than work through her feelings. If she's not lashing out, she's shutting herself off from the world, and that's exactly what she did in Grey's Anatomy Season 22 Episode 2. It's become something that we expect with her character, but that's not necessarily a good thing. If someone were like this in real life, we'd be encouraging our friends to consider how they can change their reactions to situations. We'd want them to find a healthier way to deal with loss, and we'd push for them to open up in a safe space and take time off when it's necessary. This is what Grey's Anatomy has a chance to do for Amelia, as she realizes that she can't just switch one addiction for another. When she gave up drugs, she turned to work, and now her work is becoming a problem mentally. She needs to find some healthier coping strategies, and the best way to do that is to step away from the triggers and the nightmare situations. Now it's on the writers. Now we're relying on the Grey's Anatomy writers to develop and grow the character. The show has done a wonderful job of showing character development in the past. Just look at the way Alex Karev went from jock to Ped's head, and we'll ignore the exit storyline for the purpose of this, or the way Jo went from a whiny brat to a caring friend and mother. It's time to discuss this with Amelia, highlighting the issues her coping strategies have created. She knows that she's struggling with this loss, and it's not just because of Beltran's death on Grey's Anatomy. Amelia feels like she deserves some of the blame, doing a surgery that she shouldn't have done in the first place, leading to a child with locked-in syndrome and a mother desperate to fix her. Can the writers take full advantage of this opportunity? It's understandable that she takes on some of that responsibility, but she can't shoulder it forever, as she's not the one who chose to hold an operating room hostage with the gas canister. As she finds ways to deal with the grief and the guilt, we could see an Amelia who knows herself better and focuses on healthier relationships with everyone in her life. Grey's Anatomy has an excellent opportunity with Amelia being gone for 8 episodes, making it a realistic time to get that sort of help. Now, the writers need to take full advantage of it. Grey's Anatomy continues on Thursdays at October 9th. See on. Let's keep the conversation going. It's the only way the good stuff survives. Do you think this sabbatical will be good for Amelia's character? Or will the show fumble it? Let's discuss. Share your thoughts in the comments, and keep reading if you're moved to do so. Independent voices need readers like you. Nobody wants this Season 2 review. Netflix rom-com gets sharper, deeper. Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.